Hello guys, and welcome back to my video. So in this video we are going to be continuing with our e-commerce series. So in this video we are going to be building a cart functionality. So I'll just show you a demo of the application that we are going to build. So as you can see, we can add these items to cart. And as you can see, if this item which is out of stock, if we try to add it to cart, as you can see, it's telling us that the product is not in stock. Same as this one also. As you can see, product is not in stock. And then when you go back to our cart, you can see we now have 2 items in our cart. And then we can also proceed to check out, but that's what we are going to do in the later videos, where we are going to install Stripe for payments. So hey guys, so let's start building the cart functionality for our application. So I'm just going to copy this chunk of code, and then we are going to move into our models folder. We are just going to go into our models folder, and then we need to create a cart item .dat file. Okay, and then just paste that chunk of code that we got. Yeah, Control V. So let's just paste it, and then let's just comment this chunk of code. Yeah, and then let's change this to cart item, and also let's change this to cart item. So we are going to be use the freeze package to generate like immutable classes. You can go into the pubsec.yaml file and then just grab the dependencies there. So we are going to create an abstract class cart item with cart item. Then we need to create a constructor. And then the next thing is we need some variables. We need the cart ID. We also need the image, the product image. Also need the product ID. We also need the quantity. And then we also need the cost. And then we also need the product name. And then I will need the price. Okay. Then the cart item. Then let's just put a semicolon. Okay, so let's just run this command flutter pub run build runner build delete conflicting outputs. Okay, so now we are done generating the build. As you can see, we have generated this freeze package. Okay, so the next thing is we also need to add another code that we are going to use to get items from JSON. and then we should add JSON. And then this should point out to cut item from JSON. Okay, so now what we need to do is let's go out and let's just uncomment this line of code, and then let's just save it, and then let's run again the build runner command. Okay, as you can see now we have generated this cut item.g.dat. So let's just uncomment these two lines of code, and then let's just change this to cut, from product to cut. So this is, we use this lines of code to retrieve like a list of cut items. So let's just change this from cut and then cut, and then let's import the model, our model. Okay. It must give us an option to import. Okay. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be cut item. Okay, so we are done with the model part. So in the next video we are going to be moving. We are now going to move into the services folder. Okay, so before we move into our service folder, you must make sure that you go in the constants folder and then firebase constants. So we are going to create a cut reference. So our cut is going to be under the user collection, right? It's going to be a sub collection inside the users collection, right? Cut reference is equal to firebase firestore. So let's import firebase firestore. Firebase firestore dot instance. Firebase firestore dot instance dot collection. So it's going to be a collection of users, and then the document is going to be user dot id dot toString. Okay, so now let's create the user. The user is going to be the current user. So I'm just going to say static final current user is equal to firebase auth dot instance dot current user. Okay. Like this. Okay, so let's import firebase auth. Let's just close this, and then let's import firebase auth. Okay, so the user, our user, we're going to say static final user is equals to firebase auth dot instance dot current user. Okay, it's supposed to be UID. Okay, so now let's move into our services folder. So let's just close this, and then let's also close this folder. Let's move into our services folder. So we are going to create a CartService. So let's create a class, CartService. CartService. We are going to have firebase firestore. I'll also need firebase auth. And we also we have firebase storage. And then I'll also need the reference. Required. Okay, so now we need to set these values of the constructors to the values that we created at the top, to the values, to set them to the variables that we created at the top there. So now that we're done, now we must first create our first method, which is going to be an either. Now we are going to check dynamic, and then it's going to check in another parameter is a function which is a future. Add product to cart, which is going to take in a product, and it will also take in a build context. Okay, so let's import product first, and then let's import this class ap dat. Also let's import material dat. Okay, so now I'm just going to create a string. The cart ID is going to be constant UUID .v1. So we are just going to use this package to generate a cart ID, right? Let's import the UUID. Okay. So let's search for the package. Flutter UUID. Okay, this is the package UUID. So let's just copy it, then let's go into our pub.yaml file, and then let's paste it inside our yam.yaml. The package is already there, so we just need to import it. Okay, so we can type it out. Import package UUID /UUID .dat. Okay. Okay, so let's just put a semicolon. Okay. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to create a try catch block. Okay, try, and then we are just going to return right. So I'm just going to call our function firebase constants dot. So let's import our firebase constants file. Firebase constants dot cart reference. If you still remember, our cart reference dot set. So we are just going to set, right? We're just going to set the cart. Okay, and then it's going to be a list of products. So our cart is going to contain a list of products. So we are going to use field value dot array union, right? Field value dot array union. Then let's just put an array, and then let's call our cut item model cut item. Let's import it. Okay, so the cut ID is going to be equal to our cut ID. The image, we are going to set it to product dot image dot toString. The product ID also, product ID, we are going to set it to product dot product ID dot toString. And then quantity, the default quantity is going to be 1. Okay. And then the cost is going to be the product dot price dot to double, because it's going to be a double. It's going to be nullable, so we're just going to put a nullable here. And then name, let's say product dot name. And then price, product dot price. And then we need to convert this model to JSON. Okay, like this. Okay, so now what we need to do is we also need to set options, right? So that if, let's say, if a user adds another product to the item, we want to make sure that these items are matched, right? So set options. Okay, let's just remove this. Set options, let's just make sure we import that. Okay. Set options, and then we're just going to make sure that the image is equals to true. Okay, so it must be missing another. Okay, so that's it here. And then since it's a try catch block, we want to catch an exception if that exception is on Firebase. And so we're just going to Firebase exception catch then we are just going to throw that exception. Then we are going to catch another exception. failure. We're just going to display a message e.toString. Okay, so let's just import this failure. Okay, so that's it for our I think I forgot to add another. Okay, yeah, that's it for our add product to cart. So what this add to product function does is that it's going to add our product to cart. It's going to take a product model as our product class, is our input of the function, and also a build context. And then we are going to get cart ID from the UUID package. Then inside our try catch block, we are just going to initialize the users, the cart reference, which is this one. This is the cart reference, right? This is our cart reference. This is our cart reference, right? Static cart firestore.users documentation. It's going to be a sub collection inside the inside our users collection, right? And then we have this cart model, which we are going to, we have the cart ID, image, product ID, quantity, which is set default to 1, and then the cost we are going to get it from the product model, the name from the product model, and then also the price from product model, and then we are going to convert it into a JSON. And then we have set options, and then we have set it to match to true, so that it can allow us to add multiple items into multiple items in the same collection, right? So that's it for add to cart. So now we are moving on to removing the cart, removing items from cart, right? So it's going to be either dynamic future void remove cart item, cart item, cart item, and then let's just make sure that we import cart item. It's already imported, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to also wrap it inside our try catch block. Return firebase. The cart reference dot update. We are going to update, right? Okay. Just going to update the cart. This is going to be field value dot array remove. So we're just going to remove the item. Array remove. Cart item dot to JSON. Okay, like this. So let's repeat here. We'll just close with a semicolon. Expected to find. Then let's catch an exception. Catch exception. I'm going to return left. Then we are going to just throw an exception. Okay, like this. So it's supposed to be capital letter E. Okay, so that's it. So what are we doing here? So what we are doing here is we are just going to take the cut item model as a parameter, and then inside the array, so our products are going to be stored as arrays. We are just going to remove the field value, the array. We are just going to remove that item from the array of items in the cart, right? And then the next thing that we need to do is to decrease the quantity. Okay, so we're going to say void decrease quantity. So cut item. We are going to check if the item dot quantity is equal to 1. So if the item dot quantity is equal to 1, if it's equal to 1, then we are just going to remove cut item. It's a function that we are going to create next. Okay. Else remove. We are just else if it's the quantity is not equal to 1, that means that if it's more than 1, we are just going to first remove that item. We are going to first remove that item, and then we can say item dot quantity minus 1. So we are reducing that quantity. Then we can say firebase constants dot cut reference dot update. So we're just going to update the cut item. So now we say field value dot array remove. That means we are going to just to remove that item already. Item dot to JSON, right? To JSON, like this. And let's change this to capital V. Okay, yeah, that's it. Then the next is going to be to clear the cut future void. That means if we want to clear the cut, clear cut async. This is an async function. We are just going to say firebase constants dot cut reference dot update, and then we are just going to update the cut, right? Cut, then field value dot delete. Okay, like this. Okay, so that's it. And then we also have the function for increasing the quantity, right? So we're going to say void increase quantity cut item and this. we're going to say final data is equals to okay. What we are going to do is we are going to say firebase constants. Firebase constants dot cut reference dot get dot then so we're just going to get the document document snapshot doc. Then we're just going to say final data. So okay, I made a typo here. So it's supposed to be like this, and then document snapshot doc. We're going to say final data is equal to document.data is map string dynamic. And then we can just say firestore. So we are just going to run a transaction. Which is an asynchronous function. So I'm going to get a snapshot. So we are going to get firebase constants dot cut reference. Okay. And then we want to update final new quantity is equal to snapshot dot get. We want to get the data, which is our quantity, and then we want to add that quantity by 1. Okay. And then we want to update, so we just say transaction dot update we want to update the cut reference. And then we want to update it with new quantity. Okay, so let's just get rid of this typo. So as you can see now, we now have this function that we are going to use to update our items count, right? So I think there are too many. Yeah, so that's it for the cart services. So in the next video, so in the next section, no. So what we must do is we must create a provider so that we might be able to access this file, CartService. So if you are not familiar with providers and riverpod, make sure that you watch my playlist on riverpod. I have a complete playlist on riverpod. I am planning to update it soon to the latest riverpod, according to the latest riverpod documentation and on code generation, because a lot has changed. CartService. Okay. So now what we need is firestore. Firebase, firestore. So we're just going to say reference to watch. Watch fire. Wait, Firebase firestore provider. Then we have Firebase auth. Reference dot watch fire auth provider. Okay, it's supposed to be dot. And then we also have Firebase storage. Firebase storage provider, and then reference. Okay, like this. Okay, so in the next section we are going to be taking a look at the CartService control, the cart controller, and then we'll dive into the UI part. Okay guys, now we are moving into the cart controller. So let's go into our controllers folder, and then let's just create cart controller .dat. Okay, class cart, this must be capital letter, cart controller extends state notify. It's going to be a bool. So let's import state notifier from riverpod package. Okay, from flutter riverpod package. Okay. So now we need a constructor, right? So before we need to create like field members with CartService. CartService, and then with the reference. Okay, then we need a construct. CartService, CartService, then required reference. Okay. super, we're just going to false. Okay, so we are going to add product to cart. Add product to cart, which is going to take in the product, and also build context. Okay, context. So we must import our product model. Okay. CartService dot add product to cart, and then fold, and then we need to, if it's left, that means that there is a failure. We'll show a scaffold messenger. So we'll just display a snake bar to the user, then code the content. Then the content is going to be text. Okay. So let's just copy this snake bar. And let's just paste it in the for the and then let's just change the text to let's just change it to product name, product dot name edit to cart. Okay, like this. So we are done with adding the products to cart. Now we need to move on to remove the products from cart. Void remove cart item, which is going to take in the cart item. We also build context. And then let's import the cart item model. Then I'm just going to say CartService dot remove cart item, and then let's just remove the item. Dot fold. Then let's just paste the scaffold. Then let's paste it here. So And then let's change it to item.name removed from cart. And then for decreasing the quantity, okay, and for increasing the quantity, okay. So we are done with the cart controller, except that we need the cart controller provider. We just go to state notifier provider. We're just going to take a cart control and boolean then reference is going to take in the reference, and then it's going to return cart, the cart controller, CartService reference dot reference dot watch cart. And then also need the reference, which is ref. There must be, you are getting an error. Find our cart controller provider. It goes to state notifier. Then somehow we're getting an error, but I don't know why. Cut controller can be inferred because it depends on itself. This is how I could try to state notifier provider. The type cut controller provider can be inferred because it depends on itself through the cycle. Can we try adding explicit type to one or more of the variables in the cycle to break? CartService reference is also reference. Three problems. What were the problems? Final cut controller. Somehow, if I name it to provider, it's giving us an error, which I don't know why, but let's just leave it like this. Okay, now I know what's going on. CartService provider. Okay, I get this was supposed to be CartService, right? That's why we're getting an error, and it was even warning us that cut controller depends on itself, which is not possible. Okay, like this. Now we are done with the cut controller. Next section we are going to move into the user interface part. So the file is going to be cut item widget dot okay, stateless st, and then it's going to be cut item widget, right? We are going to import, let's import it. Metro.dat. Let's change the stateless widget to consumer widget. If you have followed this e-commerce series, you know that we will be using riverpod. So to consume providers, we use the consumer widget, and then we pass in the widget reference inside our build method, right? Which is going to be reference. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we are saying final cut controller. This goes to reference.watch. So we are going to watch the cut controller. Cut controller provider. image.notifier. Okay. So what we are going to do here, we are just going to return a row. We are going to return a row widget. The main axis alignment is going to be our main axis alignment dot center. Then it's going to take in children. Okay. So for the we need just wrap it around with the padding, right? Padding, we're going to say edge insets dot all 8.0, and then child image dot network and then so I forgot one thing. We need to pass in the cut item model. Cut item item so just going to say required. Let's just remove the constant. Item dot image. We're going to give it a width of 80. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do, we need is an expanded widget. Child is going to be a rep widget. We're going to give it a direction of axis dot vertical. And then children container and then we'll just give it a padding of constant edge insets dot only left 14. Child text and then item dot name. Okay, and then in the row main axis alignment main so center. Okay, and then children and then icon button. icon constant icons dot remove, and then on pressed. So we want that for the remove item, we want the cart controller dot remove, we want to remove the item. Okay, and then let's another item padding edge insets dot all, and then let's give it a text item dot quantity dot toString. And then another icon button. Increase quantity. Okay, so below this expanded, so below this expanded, what we need is we need an icon button. Icons dot delete. Okay, so it's supposed to be icons dot delete color. Let's see, colors dot red. We're going to say cart controller dot remove cart item. Okay, and then after this we need a text padding edge. Then we need the children. Okay, so just give it a constant. And then below this padding, what we need is a divider. Thickness 2, and then we colors dot black. Okay, so that's it for the cut item widget. So now what we need to do is we need to go to our views, and then we need to go to the cut screen to create a cut screen. So inside our pages we already have the cut page, right? So we just need to modify it. Okay, so it's a stateful widget, so let's just change it to consumer stateful widget. Let's import flutter riverpod. Let's just change this to consumer state HC. Okay, like this. Now what we need to do is we need to get the current user, final current user. This goes to firebase auth.instance .current user. Okay, let's just import this. Now user provider. This goes to reference.watch. Get user data provider. And then current user. Current user .uid. Okay, like this. And then we are going to watch the cut. Final cut is equal to reference.watch. Cut controller provider dot notify. Okay, so we are going to return a scaffold. And then we have actions. We have a text. Clear cut. Then let's just style it. font weight.bold, and then let's wrap it with the padding widget, and let's wrap this also with a gesture detector. Gesture detector. So on tap, if the user taps the clear cut button, what we want to do is we just want to clear the cut. Okay. Also need the title, which is going to be text. Let's just copy this text. And then let's just paste it here. And then let's change the color to black. Okay, let's just remove this semicolon. Then let's change it to 20. And then we need the background color. Colors dot white. Okay, and then we need an elevation of 0. And then icon theme, and theme dot of context dot icon theme. Okay, so for the body now, what we are going to do is we are going to just say user provider dot when. So what we need to do is let's go into our user model, right? We need to make a change. So let's go into our user model. Inside our models, user.dat, right? So the change that we need to do is list cart item cart. So let's generate another new data class. Let's first import this and then let's generate this another data class. Okay. So let's just get rid of all the things inside here. generate a data class. So let's first save this class, because I think something is going on. We are not editing this. Then let's first save it, save all. Okay, and then let's generate a data class. Okay. Somehow we are getting an error here. The map condition can be unconditionally involved. Getting a no check. So there must be something that must do a quick fix. Also, we need to fix this also. I was supposed to fix this. Quick fix. Replace it. Okay. So we also have another error. Quick fix. So also from map. Okay. So let's just get rid of this. So okay, let's just copy all these items, right? And then let's just get rid of this whole class, right? And then what I'm just going to do is I'm going to a cart item, right? Before I go into a cart item, we're at the users, right? Let's just paste these variables here. Let's go into the cart item. Let's just copy all this code snippet and let's paste it just above here. Control V. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create an abstract class user with underscore $ user, and then we need a constructor factory user, and then we just copy all these items, like let's copy them, let's just cut, and then let's paste them inside the constructor. Okay. So this item is the only one which is required. Let's just get rid of this semicolon, which is go to underscore user. So let's change this into users.first. Users, let's comment this, and also let's comment this line here. and then let's run the flood pub builder. Okay. Okay, as you can see, we now have users.first. The next step now is to just, let's uncomment this line. And then let's just add the last segment, which is a factory. Which is factory user dot from JSON. This is a capital letter J. Map string dynamic JSON. And then we are going to say user from JSON. Okay, like this. And then let's run build run again. Okay, so now we're done with generating the user immutable class. What we need to do is we just need to fix our auth file, right? Okay, I think we made a mistake. We need to change it again to user model, but it conflicts with the current user model. Model. Okay, so just save and then we run flutter build command. Okay, so now that now that we are done with dealing with the cut model, now we are moving to the first part of our user interface. So then we're going to, okay, data. Elastic trace error text error to string. Okay, let's import the error text. And then for the loader, we are just going to display loader. We need to import it. Okay, let's import the loader. Okay, So here what we are just going to do is we are just going to return data dot cut is not equal to now. If it's not equal to now, then we are going to display a list view. List view children is going to be a column children data dot cut dot map cut item widget. Let's import it. To list. Let's see what's the name of this widget. It's cut. It's supposed to be capital letter C. Let's import it. And then the item will be cut item. And then if this cut data is equal to now, what we are going to do is we are just going to show some text. Column children then main axis alignment main axis alignment dot center. Center child text. Then I'm going to say cut is empty. And then we are going to also have a size box. Then we need to display text, so let's just copy this text, copy, let's just paste it below, and then we'll say back home, back to shopping. back to shopping, and then let's just repeat with the gesture detector. With the widget, which is going to be gesture detect, and then on tip push context material page route builder context. Okay, so that's basically it for our e-commerce application. So let me just run it on the emulator and let's see how it's okay. So I'll be back. Okay guys, as you can see now the emulator is finished running. So if you just go to your products widget, just go there and wrap your this column with the stack widget, the column that is above the image.network, with the stack widget, and then inside that stack widget we are going to have an icon which is inside a positioned widget, and then with the gesture detector, and then we are going to check if the item is available. We are going to check if the item is available. If it's available, we are going to add it to cart. And then if it's not available, then we are going to say product is not available, is not in stock. So you can get this in the source code, right? So if I click on this, you can see that we are getting gloves added to cart, ARV drugs added to cart, and you will also see that crystal means added to cart. If we try also this one, coffee syrup added to cart, and then this one is also added to cart. So if we go to our cart page, you can see these are the items in our cart, right? So, and you can also see we can also remove them from the cart like this, and we can also clear the cart. Okay, and then we can also go back to shopping. So thanks for watching guys. In the next video I'm just going to do on showing you how to calculate the total of all the items in the cart. Thanks for watching guys.